So let's go ahead and create this edge. I need some more value in here, but let's just go ahead and see if we have enough that we can create a front edge so that it contrasts with the inside of that collar. And then we can play around with it and do some of that molding later. I'll decide whether I want much dark out here. I don't want to take my eye out of the drawing too much, but let's go ahead and get a little bit out there. Let's create this stripe. Let's create this little bit underneath here. Let's create this. And create a little more contrast here so that we can see that the stripes are lighter than what's underneath. When I get out to some of these areas like this too, like I was telling you, I like a little pencil quality around the perimeter of my drawing where I'm maybe taking an edge, and I may actually just leave it a pencil stroke as it finishes, and it adds a nice little touch to the outer perimeter. I like it anyway. Eraser on there. So let's get a little more in here. Now, because this is fabric, if I can control my pencil strokes and not have them become dominant and show, you know by doing the patches how much harder it is to make a smooth gradation, not show the lines when you have a softer pencil. But on this right here, if I can do it well enough that I don't have those distracting strokes, I can kind of see a little bit more texture in here for the fabric. It's going to be very dark, but I kind of want to create something that isn't just smooth. So I can go to my 4H, create a base. It would probably still work quite well because the 4H, or the 2B, and even the 4B, if I chose to use that, will ride on the top of the tooth if I maintain it. So that's what I was showing you a little bit ago. And re-emphasizing the fact that I want to be able to utilize my texture at all times if possible. So when you start running out of texture, you've limited yourself in what you're going to be able to do in creating maybe some of these wonderful textures, or regulating the value, or even going darker, because you find there's a limit to how dark you can go if you've burnished it down. That's all part of the learning process, though, because that 4H, some of the harder pencils, they're very valuable and you can use them in many ways, but you don't want to overdo it and maybe even do a whole level of your drawing, everything on it with 4H. I like to work with the darkest first. It keeps me from putting 4H on everything. Gradually I extend out into the highlights or the lighter parts of some of those darker areas so that I have a gradation and depth. But I don't want to just overdo it with that 4H, or I can end up by burnishing down my paper before I ever even get to the softer pencils. Changing direction a little bit so that I can have a little more complexity to my stroke, my structure. And one thing that I've mentioned many times, I don't want to have this become something with a bunch of white pits, because this right here is in the dark. It's on the dark side of a black collar to that jacket or whatever he has in there. So, but I want to not go too far, because I want to be able to balance it out, make sure it doesn't become too dominant. Maybe it's because I'm chicken, I don't know. Don't want to overcommit. And then if this collar is sticking up, it looks like it's kind of sticking straight up, and it is kind of, there's a space in between this shirt collar and this maybe jacket lining or whatever. Maybe it's a fleece or whatever. I still don't want it to become too dark, and I'm going to suggest that it's going deeper into the recess by, again, making sure that it's darker down there, even if it's just subtly suggested.